Hi, right, so today we're going to make simple pendant with these beads that I got from Beebeecraft. As you can see, I chose the ones that are in the colors of the traffic light. I'll make a bail to put this ribbon through, and all we need is, well, I took a piece of 40 centimeters of 21 gauge wire. I'm pretty sure it's 21 gauge, could be 20 gauge. I mean, these holes here, they're big enough even for 18 gauge. So, you know, I wouldn't use 20, like, I wouldn't go, I'd say 21 gauge, that would probably be the thinnest I'd go for, because these beads, they're pretty heavy and they are 2 centimeters in diameter. So anyway, I'm going to show how to secure them so they don't start twisting, so they stay kind of like this, the way I want them to stay, you know, facing me. So I have some plated craft wire here. I've got chain nose pliers. I've got my wobbers, which are basically like round nose pliers, but these are like in set diameters. Doesn't really matter. You can choose whatever diameter you wish to work with. But like, for example, if I want to have all my loops the same size, then I'll, for example, like stick to one of these diameters. It's just, they make it easier. Some wire cutters, of course, need wire cutters. Right. Oh, no, I will need a pair of round nose pliers anyway, because yeah, here we are, pair of round nose pliers. You'll see that's just for twisting the wire in the back so that the beads don't keep flipping, you know, faces back and forth. Right, so let's start. I take my 40 centimeters of wire that, you know, straightened out a bit in my fingers because it comes on like this spool, like this. It doesn't really matter which wire you use, but once you unravel, you'll see it's like it stays coiled. So I like to straighten it out. And I'll start by leaving a tail of about, what shall we say, 3 centimeters approximately. Yeah, something like that. And I make a bend. Okay, then I want to, for my bail, I want to make a loop like a little higher up, and I'll use this diameter. It doesn't really matter which one, but let's say, you know, let's say I use this, so I make a little loop like that. Okay, can hook this around then, and then since it's plated wire, I also have here my nylon jaw pliers to help me secure and not scratch my wire too much. And then I just make 3 neat rotations kind of to secure it. And here we are. I have my bail, which I can straighten out a bit this way, so we'll see it this way, okay, towards us. Now I slide my uppermost bead onto it. I don't worry about, well, at this point I could cut off the end here and pinch it down. I'll remove the bead for now. So pinch down the end so it's nice and we don't want sharp ends sticking out and poking us. Right, so we made this loop here. We slide the bead, okay, and then, right, I want to have this face, for example, towards me. So I'm going to take my chain nose pliers and I'm going to bend the wire just a few millimeters, you know, below where the hole of the bead starts. Then for my loops, I want to keep them quite small, so I'll use my smallest diameter on my wobbers to make the loop. Okay, and we make sure that the loop kind of goes at 90 degrees, the tail goes at 90 degrees to the wire that comes out. Okay, now I can take my nylon jaw pliers so I don't scratch my wire, and I go around with wire 3 times. Now I want this loop to be perpendicular. Let me see if I can. This loop to be perpendicular to the loop I have below. So let me orientate this. Okay. Do I want this side or this side? Yes, I want this side facing towards me. And I want this. Okay, so I'll position, I prefer the look like this. So I go this way, and then I can just simply twist my loop below so that it's perpendicular. I can use round nose pliers to straighten it out. Okay, so here we are. Now, how do we, the main tutorial here I'm trying to show is how do we make sure that we stop this bead from spinning around. Well, that's what we have this tail for. And so we want the bead looking this way at us with this bail pointing this way and this loop facing us. Okay, so the wire that's behind, we're just going to press it against the bead. I'll show you from the back, and from the back it looks like this. Okay, and then we're going to bend it down, and we're going to go around these coils that are at the top just several times, and then we can cut off the wire at the back and press. With our chain nose pliers, we press it down. Okay, so don't worry too much about how the bail and the loop face us. We can always, you know, adjust it later. At this point, I just want to make sure that this bead, you see this bead, it's no longer spinning around anymore. So in order to secure it, you see the wire goes from one side behind this loop to the opposite side behind this loop. So what I want to do is get my pliers down this way in the middle and just twist like this. Okay, and once we do that, this bead is not going anywhere anymore. You know, it's just going to stay in position. So if we orientate it this way, and like we can even do it with our fingers, do it this way, and then we can use a loop to go here. Just adjust your wire and your loops, and then we have this bead, see, hang there, and it's no longer moving around anywhere. Okay, if you need to, you can go back and tighten it further. Okay, and then yes, so here we are. Now here I noticed at the back this wire started, once I've manipulated my wire a bit, make sure you go back and then press down any sharp edges, so you have no sharp edges sticking out. So now this bail will accept our ribbon neatly through it. I mean, I'm just going to show it to you now, but we still have the other two beads to adjust, but I'll show it to you now. So this is, okay, this is how it's going to sit. Okay, so that's kind of how we want it, well, how I want it. And then now we're going to do a loop sort of like with the side to us up top, facing us at the bottom, side to us up top, facing to the bottom. We'll do, and we'll connect the beads all together. Okay, so once again, we'll use the smallest setting for the loop. Okay, I make a loop like this, leaving some, let me see if I can focus. I don't know why my camera is not focusing today. Come on. Okay, so here we have our loop. Now this loop I'm just going to close it by going around the wire 3 times. Oh, sorry, it's right, let me see if I can cut off the end here and pinch down the cut off end. Okay, we use our round nose pliers to straighten out. So here we are, we have this loop. Come on, focus. Okay, and that's going to be at the bottom of our bead, and then we're going to go up to the top, and I'm going to, I need to make sure, because sometimes the coil will want to dig in inside the bead, make sure you don't push it in too far, okay? So make sure, and then you press the wire away from the bead, and then we make the loop up top. Now here, once we've made the loop up here, okay, so see we have one loop facing us, the other one's going sideways. We need to go into the bottom loop of our red bead, and then to close it, we're gonna go around the base wire 3 times as before. It's not easy to show with the bead flopping around. Now make sure here we get the orientation correctly, okay? So we have this facing sideways, and this bead, right, what do we want at the back? Yes, we want this at the front and this at the back. So I'm going to make sure that my wire comes out like at the back of the loop. See, like the back of the loop there. Then we turn it to the work to the back, okay? And now we need to bring this wire down, okay? To make sure, bring it down, and then we need to go around the loop. The wire will try to pull. It has its own natural stiffness. Okay. Here, let me show it. Ah, there. Managed to grab hold of that. Let's see. Okay. There. Okay. And now we can go around. And cut off the wire and pinch it in. Pinch in the end. Okay, so now we have this at the back. We can, don't worry, we can adjust the loops so they can stay perpendicular to each other. And now here, once again, we have one loop going one way and the other way. Wait. So okay. So here we are. This is what we get at the back. Having connect. So, and at the front we just have our beads connected. And now we do the same thing with the green bead. Let's straighten out our wire. Okay, first I make the loop. Okay. I'm used to making the end a bit short, but then that digs into your fingers. You can make your end a bit longer because it will make it easier to wrap it around the base wire. So now I need to pinch down that end. Okay, so now this is at the bottom of our bead. How do I want my bead to go? That's gonna be, and this, okay. I think I'll have my bead going this way, and since the wire is sticking out nicely, I'm just going to pinch and create the loop for the top. Okay, now I need to get this loop before closing it into the bottom of the okay, well, I'm gonna need to make sure I orient my beads the right way, well, the way I want. And so just close the loop by taking the wire 3 times around itself. Now my coils are not very tight there. Okay, so I want my beads facing this way, and now have make sure see the connection between the loops is at 90 degrees to each other. So one is facing you sideways and the other one straight on. And now we take that wire around the back of the green bead. Okay. And we're gonna go round the coil of the bottom loop, cut off the excess wire. So I didn't have too much waste of wire, like in case you're using some more precious wire than just craft wire. Okay, and now see with what we need to do is take my round nose pliers and do the same thing like I did before. Tighten that wire by twisting it in like this zigzag shape, and this just makes sure that the beads are always facing this way. So you see, now we have our and this loop I wanted it facing sideways. It's gonna be, I'll probably attach a nice long tassel in green color below. So anyway, so this is some basic wire loop making, and yeah, so you can have this traffic light pendant now for, well, I think it's fun. I wanted to make that for myself. So anyway, here we are, very simple like wire loop making. Of course you can use this technique for any beads, you know, with either with wrapping wire at the back to stop the beads from spinning, or just making basic loop to connect your beads into a chain. So to connect into a chain, you don't even need to bother with this preventative kind of anti-spinning kind of method. So yeah, here we are. I really liked these beads, actually. They're really nice. So thank you for watching. Hopefully this was useful for someone who, I don't know, is planning to do some beginner wire making chains with wire. And see you next time. Bye.